Computer. Right, it doesn't actually say it anymore, so we just have to assume it's happened. So, first things first, I want to give a massive shout out. I've only chosen one woman this week because she deserves the fucking floor and all of it in its entirety. Joe Duddle, 4 stone gone. That is fucking incredible. Incredible. And again, like, any amount is amazing, but when it's on that kind of capacity, and you've dug in and you've been chipping away and you've continued to grind. Sorry, I'm just going to mute some of you guys. There we go. It's amazing, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Like some of you guys might be on a slightly different journey, different things, a build, whatever it might be, but that one is phenomenal. And all of your guys' reactions. I saw this on Zoom this morning when I was doing a Zoom. It was like, you can now do all of these reactions, and you're all trying it out. So love that. Um, Second of all, welcome to all of the influx of Glowember women. I've still got a couple of Zooms to do over the next couple of days with some of the ones who couldn't get booked in last week. So we'll see if there are any more. But welcome to absolutely every single one of you who has joined in the last week. Very excited to have you on board and get you crushing some of those goals ultimately. So, December. It's a weird month. It's a little bit of a one of those where you kind of go, oh, okay, what can I actually achieve in December? Now, in reality, this completely comes down to choice and decision. And I think as long as you look at it that way and you're okay with the choices that you make, I'm gonna put you down, Baba. Sorry. Oh, um, then you've just got to be kind of accepting of that. So, for instance, what have I got on in December? I'm going bowling tomorrow because I'm that fun. I fucking hate bowling. I detest bowling. I have the most obscure bowling technique you will ever see in your life. I get mocked every single time I go. I don't enjoy it. So, anyway, I didn't decide that. So, I'm doing that tomorrow. I'm going to Wagamama's. What else am I doing? The 20th, we have a family dinner. And then literally Christmas Day, Boxing Day. New Year's Eve can guarantee Thomas and I do not like New Year's Eve. We would rather be in our lounge, the fire on, chilling with the dogs. We are not hard party animals on New Year's Eve. So I'm likely to do 4 things in the entirety of December that could potentially look like something a little bit different. That's it though. Like in reality, would I majorly undo all of my progress? Can I still train? Can I still hit my steps? Can I still be very mindful with my nutrition? Yeah, I can. And can I calorie bank those events? Yes, I also can, if that's what I want to do. Or you can say, fuck December, I don't give a fuck, and that I wouldn't advise it, is my genuine thing. If you're serious about moving towards your health and fitness, I think we want to try and find a level of balance. But for me, Christmas, Boxing Day, New Year's Eve are the 3 that you're probably not going to really be thinking about what you actually want to do. But just again, be mindful about your decisions in the same way that you would be if you were going on holiday. And some of you guys are going on holiday. So again, it's just thinking, start to think about, I'm going to eat until I'm full. I'm not just going to scoff everything because it's here. I'm not just going to turn into like a pig in front of a trough just because I can. Like, again, it's that consideration. And also, like I say, you can still train. Most of you guys, your gyms will be open. If you're training from home, you've got absolutely no excuses because your home will still be open. But a lot of you guys won't be that impacted by bank holidays and what gets closed. There are plenty of other times in the week as well. So, but it is just to level your expectations. Depending on what you do, is going to depend on your outcome of what you can achieve. And again, please do ask for the calorie banking training if you weren't in the program or you missed it from a couple of weeks ago. I'll happily send that out to you guys. Right, that's that part. So I have my tins of beans. I've only got one weight, and I don't know where it is. Thomas was like the other day, should I just throw this away? Do you ever use it? And I was like, it's my demonstration weight, but I don't know what he's done with it, and I've only got one anyway. So tins of beans it is. So I actually want to talk about good mornings first and an RDL first because they confuse the fuck out of everyone. And well done, Karen. I have just gone back to you on that. But form on good mornings can take a minute. Now, you're only likely to be programmed good mornings if you either train from the gym or you have access to a barbell at home. Fully transparent, you will not be able to load a good morning as much as you can load an RDL, even though the movement pattern is the same. It's the same exercise essentially, but one you've got a bar here, the other one is underneath you, which means it's going to be heavier where it's placed on your back versus below you where the weight is underneath. So you're going to be able to load a lot more because you're not having to carry that weight as high up. But I want to show you, I'm going to do all of this as best as I can in the vicinity of my home. Well aware that the screen is not, it's not going to be the best from that angle. So hang on, just going to give myself a little bit more room in that little alleyway. So, oh, where's my beans? They're not beans, they're chopped tomatoes. So an RDL, what I want you to think about is this is the motion. Okay, oh, I've got another dog. You're not eating the beans. Can you see how flat my back is? As in, I'm not arching under, I'm not bending over, okay? So my back is completely and utterly, stripes are probably not the one, are they? I don't know if that makes it look bent. It is not bent. So that's the point. One of the mistakes people make is looking in the mirror. The moment you look in front of you, you can create that arch in your back. Again, we do not want that. Another mistake people make, try and come further back, is coming all the way down here. The moment I do that, I can't not arch my back at the bottom. Notice how I'm coming just below my knees. My back is flat, but the moment I keep coming down and down and down and down, I am going to end up with that curvation. We don't want that. This is a glute exercise. The hamstrings will be coming into play. No quads in this. So if you don't want to grow your quad, absolutely fine. This is a brilliant exercise for that. So again, we're coming down. The other mistake people make, keeping those dumbbells far too far in front of them. No. What you want to think about is shaving your legs with the dumbbells. So we are shaving our legs and they're touching the whole way through, just below the knees, and I'm going to pop back up. Now, I'm doing a good morning. Watch how everything is the same. Stop. And I'm going to push back up with my glutes. Coming down, my back, exactly the same angle. I'm just going to drop this one so you can see it. Push back up. There is literally no difference whatsoever in these two motions, apart from where the weight is actually held. You need a wee. You're not going to go out because it's raining, honey. You don't like the rain? No. There you go. I knew I was right. So that kind of shows you the difference. But in a good morning, like what I've seen is when people are coming down with the bar, what they do is almost curve to come back up. So they come down and then they curve to come back up. We don't want to do that. We're coming down, we squeeze here and use the glutes to drive back up. My back never ever shifts from that position. We're always complete. So we start like this, we reach this, and we come back up. Reach this, so that should stay completely flat the whole way through with no posterior or anterior bend at any point in the exercise. We'll do some lunges. Lunges! So, few things with lunges, by the way, because everybody fucking hates them. I get it, okay? I understand the sentiment. However, they are a phenomenal exercise. One thing I will make very clear is I have absolutely no issues whatsoever if you want to set yourself up in the gym so you can hold on to something like a piece of equipment, or at home, if you want to hold on to something and just use one dumbbell, that is absolutely fine. There are no issues doing that. If you want to stabilize yourself, that's not cheating, by the way. It's actually better for muscle hypertrophy, but it will require fewer stabilizing muscles. So there are benefits to both. It's just picking and choosing our angle. But if you are new, I would say, so I'm going to do a reverse lunge. Notice how my feet are planted at hip distance apart. I'm going to hold on And what I'm going to do is lunge back and I'm staying hip distance apart, okay? So I was describing this to someone in a check-in the other day. We stay on that train track. Doesn't matter if it's a forward lunge. Thank you, Hector. It's great doing this at home. This is why I don't train at home. Don't know how anyone does it with dogs. But we want to remain on that train track. Same with split squats. If we, oh, sorry, kicked you then. So if we were to do split squats, I'm still, so split squats are where you do not move. So I've got my feet planted on my train tracks, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring it forward, okay? If I was doing a Bulgarian, I'm going to pivot. Got my trusty chair. Yeah, I think we're in shot. So I'm going to show you there are nuances to Bulgarian split squats. Try and get it in the right place. Right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to sit on the edge of whatever device, bench, whatever I'm using. In order to get the right stance, I'm going to stick, let me just bring my screen down so hopefully you can see it. There's Hector. Are you giving a demo? He says, yeah. So this is well exciting. What I'm going to do, you're in the way, honey pot. Yeah, so are you, Babu. I'm going to put my leg out. They can't see, guys. They can't see, baby. Yes, I love you too. Where's Thomas when you need him? But what I've done, I've sat on the edge of the chair. I'm putting my leg out straight, okay? That, when I stand up, is the perfect distance. When I then put this back leg on, that is exactly where I want to be in order to drive down. Now, my goal with a Bulgarian is to try and keep this shin as upright as I can and think about traveling backwards towards the chair. So what I don't want to do is drive knee over toe. Let me just come back so you can try and see that in the light. So what I don't want to do is do that with my knee. I can, but I'm going to be working all of my quad and no glute. Whereas if I drive backwards, keep this shin straight, you can see how I'm lengthening my glute as much as possible now, and I'm not driving as much quad. So this is what you typically see people do, and what we want to do, whoop, stability. You could have another chair here, by the way. It would be useful to hold on to something if again, if you need it, use it. So what we'll do is think drive back and up. Drive back and up. This is really hard to do. This is a very high chair. So knee over toe. So if you see me say, put something under your shin in order to push forward, and you'll see it in the videos that I do, one will go knee over toe, one will drop knee back, okay? They are different exercises. Even though they're the same, the technique is driving, because everybody always says the same for glutes and for split squats and lunges. What's the difference? Anything that drives knee over toe forward is working your quad. Anything where your shin stays more upright, like a reverse lunge, like a squat, like a goblet squat, again, all of those exercises like an RDL, they are definitely working more of your glutes, not your quad, okay? So they're kind of, I think, were they the lower body ones? I'm out of breath now. And I feel like I'm sweating. I'm sweating and I'm out of breath. It's 1,000,000 degrees in here. Right. A question actually that one the Glovember has asked. A couple of, I think you asked it. They might not even be in here now. Do I need my rest period? Yes. If you're not using your rest or you feel like you don't need to, we need to make the exercise a bit more challenging, either with weights, with a pause, with a quarter, which we will organically do as I write your programs. They will progressively get more challenging. But if I write you a 2 minute, so if I was to do my squats, let's say I was doing my goblet squats with this tin of beans, and I'm doing a sumo squat in this instance, goblet squats up here. But if I was to do this, I could just keep going and going and going and going and going, and I could go all day long without needing to rest. But if I replace this with 25, 30 kilograms, suddenly I'd need my fucking rest, guys. I would be blowing out of my anus and I would be thinking, oh my good God, when do I get a break? And my last few reps should look like this. So imagine goblet, they should look like this. Rather than this, it should feel like, oh fuck, am I gonna get it up? Come on, push, 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 push. Then I rest, okay? So you will know, again, form overweight to begin with, but as you get more advanced, and again, just as a reminder, every single one of you inside of this program gets unlimited form checks. You just prop your camera up wherever you are in the gym and you just hit that damn record button and you put it through your chat with us as your coaches. That's it. Unlimited amounts of those. And we'll obviously get back to you as soon as we can and assess your form, give you notes. Often you'll see me record something in this kitchen to go, oh, this is what I'm noticing, tweak this, change that. So, squats and anatomy, just for context. You'll have just seen how wide I went with my stance, like this. I've got really long femurs. I've got a really tiny body. I'm actually not particularly tall, but I have the perception of being really tall because I've got really long legs, abnormally so. I should be really tall. I have a lot of height genes in my family. I just didn't quite get there. Something didn't quite go right. But these basically mean I cannot do a really narrow squat and get that depth. I have to point my toes out and I have to go a little bit wider. And that's what allows me to get, if I do it from the side, into that fully seated position, which is where we want to be. Again, if you're new and your depth is here, that is perfectly fine because we are still working at this level. Next week, you might go a little bit deeper. Week after, bit deeper. Week after that, even deeper. And gradually you can get to the same point. So don't panic if you don't get there at first. I was going to say something else on that. Oh, stretch, for fuck's sake. So on the platform, there is warm-up stretches in the exercise thing. I try and remember to put them on every single person's program. Sometimes I don't remember, but they are in the library. So please look for them if I haven't put them on. But we do want to be doing stretches. We want to be opening up our hip flexors. We want to be avoiding injury as much as possible, warming up our muscle groups first so that we're not risking an injury. The other way you warm up, on top of how I do it inside of the app, is by literally using a lighter weight than what you would do. They do not count as working sets. So if I was using, let's pretend my tin of tomatoes is a 30 kilogram goblet squat, what I would do is I would do maybe 6 to 8 reps with 10 kilograms, 6 to 8 reps with 15 or 20 kilograms. And what I would do is gradually work up. Now, if I'm doing RDLs and I'm doing 90, 100 kilograms at my working weight, there's going to be a lot of warm-up sets there, which is also why the more advanced you get through the programming, the fewer exercises you might find that you have. Maybe not so much on upper body day because we're still, do you know what I mean? We're not the Incredible Hulk. They're small muscles. We can only push them so hard. But legs and glutes, like largest muscles in our physique, we can push them pretty bloody hard, guys. But again, this is where I might do 4 warm-up sets before I actually even start on my working sets. So that's the consideration to be like, right, okay, we're going to be doing that for a little while before we actually get to the point where we're actually starting to track and log that data. I need to do it. If I start with 90 kilograms, 100 kilograms, the risk of injury is enormous. So if you are ever extremely tight on time, I'd rather you don't try and hit PBs and get a good workout in than skip the warm up and risk a massive injury. Please don't do that. Right, upper body. So I want to talk about some, like, I haven't got an angled bench at this house, so you're just gonna have to pretend that we're angled here, okay? So these are like what we're working is the anterior delt, which is basically the front of the shoulder. So what we're doing in this exercise is pushing up, coming down. But what I don't want you to do is come all the way down here where there is no tension on your muscles whatsoever. You could stay here all day long, okay? So when we're thinking about an exercise, you want to think burns, 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 burns. Yeah, pushing back up. Keep that tension on. Burns, yes, keep it going. I mean, I can't feel this, but imagine you can. Okay, so we're not taking that tension right down. The same as a shoulder press. So what we're not doing is coming all the way up and coming all the way down to here. That's not working. Again, I can stay here all day long without feeling anything. There is no tension on my muscles. We want to come up. We want to come just below the 90, and then we're coming back up. So you can see that, I think, is 90 degrees. Can't quite see. I've got no glasses on. I'm quite small from the screen I can see. But just below 90, pushing back up, okay? And with this shoulder press, we're not actually perfectly out to the side here. We're slightly in front, okay? So I want you to think, bring those shoulders forward just a little bit. So kind of that side arm, we just want to bring it 20% forward. So just think 20 degrees. Then we're going to push it back up, come down at that point, okay? So we're not bang out to the side. We're just slightly ahead of ourselves. Little nuances. Lat raises. That's another one where a lot of people come straight out to the side. Let me just come back a little bit. Straight out to the side. I don't know if I can get any more light here. No, I can't. So straight out, whereas that's not what we're doing. We're actually coming slightly forward. That elbow is coming slightly forward at an angle, okay? So that's your lat raises. You might not be able to tell that from this angle, that that's what I'm actually doing, but I'm not going out. I'm not flapping like a bird. Do you know what I mean? I'm coming slightly forward. Weirdly, I do actually put a slight bend in my knees when I do this exercise. I do have hypertension. I don't know if that's why I do it, but you will often see, and most people, by the way, would plant at a hip distance apart. You've got a steadier base underneath you. Again, I don't do that. I do this. Slight bend in the knees to take a little bit of tension away. I do bring my feet together and I'm going to bring my arms up. Shoulder height is enough. It's really annoying filming this exercise because I notice when I film it, sometimes it looks like my arms come higher up than they do. They don't. As soon as I'm hitting that just below shoulder height, we're good and we can come back down again, okay? So this, slight bend in that elbow, coming forward, and then bringing it back down again. For those of you who do have hypertension, you will know about it if you have it. It's basically it's where you're a little bit too mobile, and what your joints do is they don't stop you in the right places, so they hyperextend, they go a little bit too far. So if I'm doing things like lat pull downs, which is the one on the cable machine where you've got the bar that comes across here, if I'm doing that exercise, I have to come, I can only go to about there. If I try and lock out, my elbows go flat, they will bend the wrong way. And it's the most painful thing on the planet. It really, really jars my elbows, and I will have to stop, let go of it, try and get my elbows to like lock back in again. But usually, if I cause it to happen, that's me out, and I can't really do anything like at that point. I just have to let them go. So again, you have to, this is good advice for everyone, by the way, as well. We don't want to go straight because again, the moment we're going straight on any exercise, you've usually taken the muscle, the tension away from the muscle. So you do want to keep that slight flex, pull down, lat pull down, come up. Okay, so keep that slight bend, pull down, come up. And it is okay for context, lat pull down, to have that slight bend. So we are coming a little bit backwards, so then we straighten out, slight bend. But what I don't want to see is fucking swinging like you see men do. And what they don't do is control the concentric, which is the way back up. So the work is actually being done as you come back up in that exercise, as well as coming down. So it's working both ways. If you just let that fucking thing swing around, we're not making the most out of that exercise. And I do not want anyone in Strong Her representing this program doing that. It's not a vibe. We don't do it. Leg extension. I cannot obviously show you that from home. Never ever straighten your legs fully on a leg extension. When you get heavy on a leg extension, and this is probably one of the most dangerous, a brilliant, brilliant exercise, but it's probably the most dangerous to fully ever straighten out on. So if you lock out your legs at the top of that, so imagine you're on a leg extension. Horizontal one's not so bad. You're never going to get the load up high enough to probably cause the damage. But when you're in the laid down seated ones like this, your head's here, your legs are here, you're bringing the sled down and up. If you fully straighten your legs, the load, when it gets really heavy, can just go boop, and that will be your knees. Your knees. It won't be your muscles, it will be your joints. We do not do that. So you want to keep just enough, just keep a slight bend. I can't really do that. Imagine that's my knee. Just keep that slight bend in the leg. So we don't straighten, we just keep the load on. Again, it's going to keep the load going through your muscle because we're going to keep that bit of tension on. If we straighten, it's not going through the muscle anymore. It's going through the joint. And we need the damn joints, okay? We want to grow old. We want to be able to move. We like our joints. It's the muscle tissue around the joints that we're trying to bolster and give that little bit more protection to, okay? So leg extension, categorically, never, ever, ever, ever lock out to. Again, a lot of other exercises, you're probably not going to do that much damage to, but that one can break your damn legs. I'm not interested breaking damn legs, okay? Glute extension. Now, you will have seen some people, so that's the one where you're pushing it out, like usually they face the wall, which is quite handy. We've got one in our gym that faces the whole room. So it's like your vagina is out for the world to see. But it is a very, very good version of them, so we kind of forgive. And you just have to pick your moments as to when you go on it. Now, you will see people where we lean forward and we do it this way, okay? What I want you to do is think about when you're on that machine, because they do vary a little bit by machine. Do you feel that more leaning forward, okay? And you'll feel it in the side glutes. Do you feel that more, or do you feel it more if you're sat back normally? What I want you to do is think about, where is my mind to muscle connection coming in on this exercise, and what works better for you? And if you think, actually, I think this machine's working me better in this way, leant forward or leant back, great, that's absolutely fine. We found the right way for you. So just think, where am I getting more of this tension? Where am I getting more of the load from? Let's just do cable kickbacks, I think, just as a finisher. I haven't obviously got a cable machine either. So I like a little bit of a bent leg, okay? This is the one I'm working. I do like a bit of a bent leg. I will fully control, but see, what I'm not going to do is come all the way up here. That is not working at all, anything. I don't want your leg to surpass your back. So I want you to think, right, okay, so I'm pretty sure I'm about in line there. And again, you will feel this working in the glute exercise. Really think, my muscle connection. Yes, you will feel it in your damn standing leg. When you are stood on this leg, even though it's not the one attached to the machine, your entire body weight is going through this leg. So of course you are going to feel this leg. It is going to fatigue faster than when you switch over and you do that leg. You're going to think, oh my God, it's burning, it's burning. Yes, it damn is. So this is also why we want to start with the weakest leg first, because there might be exercises where all the will in the world, you think, yeah, you know what? My right leg is my strongest. I'm going to start with that first. I'm going to do my 10 reps. Then something like a cable machine, a cable kickback, Then you've fired up that side, it's absolutely burning like shit. You go to swap it and your left leg's weaker, you might not be able to get to 10 reps on that side then. So what you've done is just strengthen your strong side, and then you've missed out your weakest side by maybe only getting to 6 or 7 reps. So we start with our weakest side first, making sure we're giving it the best shot at keeping up with the strongest side, okay? So really, really important. I think, I feel like I'm full of cold. Does anyone have any exercises that are doable for me to perform from home that they would like a form check on, or just a bit of a talk through? Anything at all apart from a leg press. There are certain things I just cannot demonstrate very easily. But again, if you're worried, just record yourself and send it across to me. I will check anything. Love a good form check. Right. Does anybody have any questions about anything at all? Nutrition, programs, check-ins, I don't know, anything literally at all that you would like a little bit of guidance on while you have me, ladies. I know it's not a full house at the minute. December will be a little bit quieter as we go through the weeks. I think I am going to look at this properly. But I think we're not going to do check-ins Christmas week. I don't want anyone weighing themselves on Christmas fucking day. That's not a vibe. It's not how we ever want to be. But I think New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, I think actually it doesn't, it kind of, we can still do those ones. So I think that'll be a really good point to rip the bandage off, get it out of the way and go, right. So New Year's Day is the Thursday. So I think that Thursday into Friday will be a perfect opportunity to check back in, and we'll be able to get them back to you literally for crushing the new year. So there'll only be 1 week where we don't ask you to check in. Obviously, you can still do everything that you want to do. We will still train Christmas week. We will still be doing everything. But yeah, that week we will not be doing the check-ins. We don't want you to sabotage and be thinking about Christmas Day, going, "Oh my God, I've put 2 pounds on." Like, yes, enjoy yourselves. It should be enjoyed. So there we go. But we will obviously, I'll put some proper bullet points together as we do the last strong her one of these as we lead up to that, so everyone knows where they stand on what's going on and what's happening. But yeah, right. Any more for any more? Otherwise, it's just me yammering on. I want to go get a shower and get in my dressing gown. Right, I will love you and leave you all. Have an incredible week. First week in December. Let's fucking crush it. Let's go hard. Do the best we can do, guys. And I will see you later on in the week. Love you all. Bye.